Transmitting to you from Old Heart Radio.
Welcome to Local Yokelz. I just don't understand why it's not coming through. David, are you having any trouble?
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
All right. I'm going to roll with this. It is super strange. I can't hear myself, but at least it's not echoing. Guys. All right. Well, either way.
You might just have to edit that whole first part out.
Yeah, the first 7-8 minutes of this recording.
No, leave it in there. It's like a tech nerds, you know.
It's a gentle reminder that I don't always know what I'm doing.
Zoom gods.
There we go.
Smiting you.
Dude, the Zoom lords, man. Sometimes they do get me. I don't know what their fucking deal is, man, but they're out for blood sometimes. Now I'm paying them. It's all good. The Zoom lords are what they are. So this is a significantly smaller mic stand, so I'm going to be really close. I'm going to look really cute in this recording.
So cute.
Fucking Jeremiah tried to get me. He grilled me one podcast about not doing video things, and I've never considered.
Yeah, I started to listen to that last weekend. Him asking about.
Yeah.
Because he listened to one with me and Nick, and it was like, "Where's the video?"
Yeah, he always. I mean, he makes a good point. Like he says, it's really fun to hear all of our voices. But because we're all so familiar with each other, it's like this idea of like, but I want to see that face. I know exactly what that face is making when they say that, and I don't want. And I thought that was really cool. I was like, that's kind of like a good point. I was like, maybe I'll get around to it, but it's also a consent thing. I gotta get consent from each and every one of you assholes to get to do it.
You video rape me? I didn't consent.
I didn't consent. Yeah, it's I don't know. It's always been an interesting debacle, the idea of video, but I prefer audio. I've got the age-old joke. I got the face for audio.
Yeah, I hear you.
Killed the radio star.
Oh man,
I think it'd be cool to do one like in person.
100, dude, 100.
Yeah.
Round table.
That would be the best. It would be really fun. I've been throwing the idea around, it seems like we all really would love to get together at some point. And so I really think it'd be fun to try and plan that out. Just get as many of us together as we can. Just for, even just one fucking day. I think it'd be really great. But it'd be fun to figure that out. I think if everybody's down, I mean...
yeah, since I'm in the middle of the state, then everybody could convene here.
It's kind of fun.
Sure.
Fucking
Caleb, Idaho, and Jeremiah's here.
Sleep over at Dusty's.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Plenty of space.
That would be genuinely. I think it'd be a really fun time. I think it'd be really great just to get everybody together. So we should. I'm gonna keep. We'll keep messaging each other about that idea because I think it'd be
for sure
good for all of us, man. But yeah, dude.
Sounds good.
You know who I found out is a recent listener of the podcast?
Who?
Motherfucking Hollywood Vines, dude.
Yeah, he responded to when I tweeted out that the me and Nick one. Yeah. Said it was hilarious, and Jones got into it too.
Yeah. I got an episode of podcast with Jameson coming up at some point here.
You hear some of his old stories about the armadillo,
the fucking
Arkansas. The guy who took such big shits, he had a poop knife in his toilet.
Oh my God.
What the hell?
You have to ask him about that.
You gotta cut him down to get him down. It's fucking gnarly. Oh my god, man. Yeah. Geez, dude. Like, what? Yeah. How's the week been for you guys, though? I mean, I feel like I got back from like this little camping trip, and I just immediately got thrown back to the wolves, and so the last 2 days at work has just been like, crazy. But what about you guys?
It's been busy. I crashed my mountain bike pretty hard on the 4th of July. So bad that I went to the hospital the next day, got like a chest x-ray and stuff, and been working through that.
Fuck.
So yeah, but I'm fine now. But yeah, it's still a little sore.
Yeah, for
That's
real.
gnarly.
Yeah.
Dang. Where were you biking?
Coming down number 2 Canyon.
Oh yeah, okay.
Way up there. Of course, it was dark, after fireworks and stuff.
Fair enough. Living on the edge.
Poor decision.
Well, we've all made them.
Yeah. I think I've made enough bad decisions for all of us combined for the rest of our lives. My week was good. Like, it's just we're because like the COVID restrictions lifted at work. Yeah. So we were doing so Dusty, I work at a rehab facility. We were doing intake days like Monday and Thursday for new clients coming in. But since they lifted the COVID restrictions, like we're doing intakes every day. Whoa. So it's just been, this week has been, it's been a lot.
Yeah.
So hopefully it gets to a point where like we get used to it, but it was just super stressful. And then
after that year of, stuff being so slow, and you kind of get used to that other routine, and now you're like going back to the wolves.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, in a much smaller way, like because that sounds like that sounds like it'd be pretty like stressful. So
for sure.
Good on you, David, but in a small way in comparison, like it has been like kind of just like bizarre at work again. It seems like for me at the cafe, it's just sort of like it feels like the same way it did at the beginning of COVID, where it was like there was just like too much random shit happening. And so it's just sort of like, it's like, okay, like do we have to like make people like, it's just all like, so there's just so much going on that it's like,
you're kind of like am I allowed to do this? So
it's
like, I was in Starbucks like waiting to get my online order, and I'm like, am I standing too close to this person or what?
Well, I was like, like for me, I've been starting, like I'm glad I got vaccinated and everything, and I'm starting to like totally be like, I'm starting to get more comfortable without a mask at certain places. Situationally, I'm like, whatever, like I don't mind putting it on if people need me to put it on, but
for sure,
it's like not an inconvenience at this point. But like,
I kind of miss it a little bit, not gonna lie, the anonymousness of it.
There is a certain that is kind of nice. I agree with you there. It's helpful at my day job because I really don't give a shit about what people like think of me or like care to like perceive me as. So I'm just like, whatever, you got the eyes up, okay?
Let me get a look at that mouth.
I want that boy to pour me my drink.
Wow.
But
you see the eyebrows on that boy?
It is kind of strange though, because like, I mean, I'm grateful for things getting back to like a little more normal. I am like cautiously worried about certain things, but I don't think we like it's. I don't know. I don't think it's something that we should really like continue to limit too much anymore. And in terms of like I think it's great to like continue to reinforce that like businesses and like certain types of like facilities can and should continue to do like things that work for them. But like I said, it feels kind of good sometimes to just like remind myself that I don't have to wear one. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Because at my day job, we're still it's so strange, dude. Like we lifted the face, the ban or the
all the requirements and stuff.
So if you're vaccinated, come in without a mask, I guess. But they're still making us on staff wear masks, which we're all vaccinated and everything.
Yeah, they don't want to get a lawsuit on their hands, basically.
Well, and that's why I was confused about.
They don't fucking care about you.
I feel like that's really weird messaging, because I'm like, every time somebody else comes in, they see me, and I'm just like, I don't want you to perceive me as unvaccinated. You know what I mean? Like,
Looking down on you.
Because it's like, it's one of those things. Like, I really think that people should get vaccinated with, if they have the access, which is really accessible at the moment. But it's like, I don't know, it just seems strange. It's like, I want them to like come in and be like, like, look at this guy, what's he waiting for? When it's like, dude, I've done my part, man. I've done it. All right.
You should just.
I'm emitting 5G as we speak. I don't mind.
Hey, I was hoping they would kick in when I was on the mountain last weekend to listen to music a little bit easier.
as you're going down. Yeah,
I'm ready for my super soldier serum to activate. So
now that would be sick. All of a sudden, you just get pumped the fuck up. I don't know why it sounds like a robot, but
sounded like a pneumatic tool or something.
Oh my god, dude! Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I'm looking forward to it, man. Have you guys thought about like things like going to like a show or anything as they start opening back up?
Dude, Taking Back Sunday and Jimmy World are playing in Spokane in October, and I can't wait.
No joke.
Yeah.
What date is that?
It's like a Friday the 16th, I want to say.
Dude, that's right before my birthday.
That'd be dope.
That would be fucking sick. I wonder, oh man, I'm gonna have to look it up after this pod and see what tickets are like, because that would be, we talked about maybe like, I talked about maybe trying to go over there in the fall.
That'd be awesome.
Aren't they playing in a park or something like that?
Yeah, Riverfront Park. They put like I haven't seen it, I haven't been down there, but they put in, it's called like the Pavilion. They like remodeled it, and there's a venue there now.
Is this supposed to be kind of like Marymore Park? Marymore is like, it's like you were going on Walla Walla Point Park, but they closed it off and they built a stage.
Yeah, essentially. Death Cab's playing in September too, so
I saw that and was like, because I think I'm off that weekend. I was like, maybe I'll go see Death Cab there.
Well, let me know.
Yeah.
Dude,
I want to see Manchester too, so we'll see.
Yeah, I'd like to catch them. Dude, that's crazy. Taking Back Sunday and Jimmy World, though. I'd love to see them. I don't know. There's something like both of those groups are like groups that go like I go way pretty back, far back with.
Hell yeah.
Is it the Bleed America anniversary tour or something?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I hope their final song is the middle. They got to end with the middle, right?
They probably hate playing that song.
Have you guys continued to have you guys caught Modest Mouse's newest stuff? Like, me and Dusty off and on. Have you, David?
Unfortunately I haven't, but they're also playing in Spokane in the fall, so I feel like I should like get caught up on that.
I was just thinking about that today. I'm like, I feel like their album was about to drop. Because I've only, was it the 25th of June?
I don't exactly remember.
Maybe I'm thinking it's supposed to come out August 25th.
Yeah, but
I just heard We Are Between, which is a good song.
Yeah, I think it had some strong singles. I'm not, how do I say it? I love the Mouse. The Mouse is like, again, one of those groups that just like, it's like you're not gonna let go of it. Taking Back Sunday is another one for me, David, that you mentioned, and same thing with Jimmy Eat World. Goddamn, all three of those. But anyway, it's like it's with the newest album. It feels like he's kind of playing like a little bit to the crowd, and I don't necessarily know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. It seems like how you guys remember when like Good News popped off.
Poppy. They were a lot more poppy on that album.
Yeah, and it became like a success. I feel like that's what they're trying to achieve with this album. Is like trying to achieve that like another like bump, that will sustain them for a little while. And I don't know if that's the goal. I don't know if it's heartfelt, but
I think that there's probably they're playing or listening to Ben Gibbard on this podcast talking about, it was actually a baseball podcast because he's like a huge baseball fan. And it was when their last album came out, and he was just talking about like you realize you get to a point in the band after so many years that you're not going to have that smash hit album again, and you're just trying to get a couple good songs on one album, basically.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not going to be able to recreate Plans or Transatlanticism. It's like, it is what it is. Like, that's why he kind of got away from the Postal Service too. Like, I can't ruin that album, basically.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite albums like ever made. So I understand that. Yeah.
Fair enough. Goddamn guys, this is so bad. I really have to you guys talk for a second. I have to 5 minutes. Sorry. Keep talking about music.
What?
I'm sorry.
What the hell is going on?
Did you check out Lamageddon? I recommend it.
I honestly think I've seen that before, and it was just, there's a movie kind of like that about like a killer tire.
It reminded me a lot of Thanksgiving.
Those movies are over the top.
Well, they're so self-aware, but
there's like 3 of them.
Acting is so bad.
Oh, it's terrible. It's like the Ginger Dead Man. Or Evil. There's like a whole genre of those kind of movies that are like so low budget to the point that it's like, what the fuck? Like, how did this get made?
$10,000 to make this. I was like, what is going on? I was like, they have this llama and this just absolutely awful, like, drawn out party scene that was like so unnecessary. Like, what are you doing? There's this whole scene where this girl like pours a drink for this guy to give to another girl, and it's like 2 minutes of this. I'm like, what are we doing?
They're just like stalling for time. Yeah,
it's like, oh, we gotta fill out an hour and a half of them just for this shit here.
Needless exposition here. Yeah. Did they all die at the party scene?
That's when people first started dying. Yep.
The llama.
The party at the grandparents' house, where the grandparents were killed by the llama at night. The llama's from space. It came in on his. It was just a horse trailer, but they made it look like a fucking rocket that landed on Mars. That is the typical this professor guy.
Yeah.
The professor guy fly in and go, I've never seen anything like this. And then he got back on the helicopter and left immediately.
Oh, for real?
So dumb.
That sounds pretty pointless.
Deepest apologies there, fellas. It's my little brother's birthday, and I told him earlier, and he was like calling me right there, and so I was just like, this is the moment I have to get because he's hanging out with his girlfriend in Seattle, so it's like they're probably gonna be doing something else later. So I really appreciate that, guys. But
sure.
How old is he now?
Ethan just turned 30.
Shit.
That just boggles me.
What's his girlfriend like? Is his girlfriend pretty cool?
I've only met her once, but she seems really cool.
You're just like, she's a total bitch.
Nah, she seems like she's into like Twin Peaks and like David Lynch.
It's a great
stuff,
show.
Like kind of like some pretty cool like.
Eraserhead changed her life.
Dude, Eraserhead is such a weird movie.
I've not seen that so long.
I'm not a fan of that movie, but the first 2 seasons of Twin Peaks, especially the first season, they're pretty fucking good.
I agree, man. I love Twin Peaks, actually. It's one of those shows that like I even like, it was just recently that it popped back into my head that I would like to rewatch it, and then I have never watched like the newest stuff.
I haven't either, unfortunately. No.
Yeah, I really been meaning to watch that entire series because I like that style.
Yeah,
there's a show I watched recently that was kind of like that, and I was like way into it. I've like always been meaning to get around to watching that. I think it was on Netflix though, so maybe someday.
Do I smell a podcast brewing? This asshole over here.
You're like always trying to branch out. Yeah, like
Twin Peaks. We go to the Twin Peaks and Twin Peaks restaurant in Cleo.
It's in Washington, yeah.
Yeah, dude. I still haven't.
That's a damn good cup of coffee. Yeah.
Yeah, damn fine. I have a
Or
pin
damn
somewhere.
fine.
I
Yeah.
have a pin somewhere like that has that on there. It's like I like it. I have it. It's on my denim. I bet. But
Oh, my denim. That's where
my denim.
where I keep my stuff too. My denim.
It's good to have one, man. I think I got one. I got myself a denim jacket like 4 or 5 years ago at a Goodwill.
Did you cut the sleeves off?
Oh no, it still has sleeves.
Damn it.
I'm not that bold.
I remember in high school when I was a senior and like I was still really good friends with Daryl Sims, but he got like a leather jacket and immediately was like this like badass, you know.
Good.
All the chicks were like, "That's a cool jacket," you know.
Yeah, dude, leather somehow just makes everything a little better, you know. It just makes you seem a little cooler.
I thought you said denim.
I did say denim. Did you say denim?
Yeah, I'm talking about
I thought you said leather.
like a Levi, like a jean jacket.
I thought you said leather.
No.
That was actually pleather.
Oh, dude, I think I found a pair of pleather pants
Ooh.
at a Goodwill, and it wasn't worth the joke, I guess.
Yeah, that's
squeezing into them wasn't worth the comedy.
they're uncomfortable.
Dude, it was. I just remember I tried to squeeze, like I got one full leg in, and it was just like such a struggle. It was so tight, like the entire time. You're just like.
There's like no breathe. They don't breathe, you know. So your nuts are just dripping in sweat.
And it makes it so much worse. Like your thighs, your nuts, you're just like fucking. You're so sweaty that by the time you try and pull them off, it just like sticks. It's like you might as well have glued them on. Yeah, dude. Oh god.
That reminds me of one time I bought a pair of green pants from the Goodwill.
Ooh, yes.
It was like a night we were gonna go play at the open mic night, and I think we were just kind of fucking around. Got those pants, and then I remember us going to Sherry's or something like that before, and then I sat in my car and like the ass of them just ripped. I was like,
I remember going to
for the show.
Sherry's every Friday just so we could hear the guy say "muzzy sticks."
Yeah, there was Mr. Love there too.
Oh my god, dude, Mr. Love.
Yeah, so Sherry's closed.
Mr. Love, dude. Sherry's is closed?
It's closed, yeah. Like Flannery was in town a few months ago, and randomly me and Todd Sutherland met up with him, and he wanted to meet at Sherry's. And we tried to go there, and it was closed. Like, yeah, I drove by there the other day, and it looks like they're changing it to something else.
Dang, man. There's still a Sherry's somewhere over here.
Oh, really?
It's a dying brand.
I was never really a fan of their food. It was just more like, it was just, you know, at that time in Wenatchee, there really wasn't many places to go that would cater a group of asshole high school kids.
At 1 a.m, you know, like after
not tipping for shit. Like, here's a 10-cent tip, you know?
Yeah.
And we were in that big ass banquet room after being at the Grange. There's like 10, 15 of us all just ordering like sampler platters and milk cake.
It was, dude. It was always sampler platters and shit, dude.
Just sampler platters of all mozzarella sticks.
Yeah. They were good.
They were good. There's Mozzie stick. The Mozzie stick, man. I want that to be a song title. I'm gonna have to write a song. Well, did we ever have one about the Mozzie?
So
no.
So Steel Armadillos, we had a song where there was like there was a song, I think it was called Hurley Hat, and there was a reference to to Mozzie sticks.
I love it. The Hurley Hat. Oh my god, dude. Yeah, Steel Armadillos, man. What other kinds of random tracks do you remember from that, David?
We only made a couple because like that was like a really short thing, because I remember it was, I could have swore you were in that, Dusty, but I know it was me, Rex, and Rudy.
Jones was in that.
Yeah, Jameson.
That's right.
That wasn't part of it. Yeah, Jameson played bass in it, I believe.
Yeah, we recorded like 3 songs. I think we had maybe one show, and then we tried to do something serious, and it just like never panned out.
The Famine, the Flood.
Yeah, which I thought was a clever name at the time, but
3S.
I mean, look, I named a band directly after a teacher.
There you go.
I feel bad to this day sometimes thinking about this. I think, one, it's an honor, but then two, I immediately think, I wonder if he's like never, I wonder if he's tried to keep that music away from his kids.
I wonder, at the time, he probably must have just been like, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. He's like, why are these kids so obsessed with me? No, John was always really cool, actually.
Hey, when you have a plaque on your desk like that, you're asking for it.
You're asking for it. But I don't know. I mean, when we stomped and delivered, I think, Medal of De Niro to him, like, I don't know if he was really wanting that whole that. I don't know if I want to know if he listened to that album. Is what I guess.
You guys like gave him a copy of the CD or something?
We like marched into his classroom in like the middle of a class. And,
yeah.
Like,
Jared had already graduated at this point, so technically Jared was just trespassing on school grounds. Like,
that's awesome.
Didn't check in, so there was no visitor pass.
That reminds me of like, so speaking of the Steel Armadillos, that was like, before that happened, I remember Elliot talked me into, they were doing like a battle of the bands at the junior high. Yeah. And I was already in high school at this point, and I showed up, and I swear to God that, what was the vice principal's name?
Loomis.
Mr. Loomis just gave me this look like what the fuck are you doing here? You know,
like, what is happening?
What's
Loomis,
this guy
dude,
doing?
Loomis was such a, like, he was like just this little bulldog that like needed to like take his anger out on things sometimes. Like, that guy was not the most friendly of vice principals, I'd say.
You know what's weird though is, like, for me it was different, because when I was in junior high, like, I was getting in a lot of trouble with the female principal, and he was always like an advocate for me, and would always be like, you know,
Mrs.
like,
Hardy.
like Miss Hardy, yeah, she hated me, like, and so he would always like be an advocate for me and be like, look, I'm sorry, like, I can't do anything about this, you know.
Oh, that's interesting. That is really interesting, man. Like, I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, I guess, yeah. I always imagine the man's not one-sided, but like, yeah.
I mean, I was
like,
a lot to handle then, but
fair enough. I mean, when I was in junior high, it was sort of similar, dude. Like, Miss Hardy, like, she had like a fucking beef out for me, dude, because
Good beef for everybody.
I remember at the beginning of fucking, like, I don't know, 9th grade or some shit like that, she had like made this big stink to like try to rope me into the school government thing, whatever that was called.
She
right?
saw something in you.
Yeah, she saw some fucking potential, right?
That looks like a tricky.
He's got the face for audio. I know it. Yeah, but I was just like, fuck. I was just like, I went to like one thing, and I was like, no, this is like weird bullshit. I'm not interested. And so I just never went back. And then like that year, she just like, every time I turned around a corner, it was like, she was like hawking me, you know, like watching me. And then like, I remember getting into a fight in the middle of the fucking lunchroom where a bunch of people were like shoving me around and shit. And she runs down the stairs and like grabs me out of the circle and drags me up to the office and was like, you're the one in trouble. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on, man?
This sounds like a classic case of grooming, you know? He was grooming you.
I'm not interested in this grooming,
man. You hit the prime age of 18.
But no, it was strange, man. It was strange, man. And then Loomis, for me, like, he was just kind of like the enforcer for things. Like, somebody else, like a teacher would like, I was a shithead in 9th grade, dude. I was a shithead.
Oh, we all were.
But like, he would like somebody'd send me down, and he would be like, you know, he'd be the guy yelling at me. I got beat the fuck up one day by I don't even remember his name, but I remember we both got dragged into the office, and when we were in there, me and like Loomis basically like suspends both of us, and then like he tells me to my face that he's only suspending me for like, it was like 2 days or something like that, so I could come back to school with my shiner, so everybody would make fun of me. And that happened, man. I came back and like I was like, oh man, it was belittling. It was
Yeah, well, that's kind of a clever punishment by him, not gonna lie.
He couldn't use the paddle that was in his office anymore, so he came up with better approaches, I guess.
Shame.
But no, that's interesting, man. I'm glad to know that like at least maybe he wasn't like
always
aggressive to like every student, you know. And I wonder how in a school like that with three sort of administrators, they have to juggle the responsibilities of being disciplinarians. You know what I mean? Like
I think that like cop. I think part of like with me is that I think he might have been maybe like a little sympathetic because, you know, I lost my mom in 8th grade. So I think he might have been a little sympathetic towards like, you know, there's a reason that this kid might be acting out and doing some of the things he's doing because he doesn't have, you know what I mean? He's going through a hard time. So I think that might have played into it, but. Yeah,
well, that's really interesting, man, because he's like, you know, like I think that's just being like, I think in the position that they're in as educators, I think it's a really important thing to recognize that about students, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like recognize where that behavior is coming from.
Exactly.
You know, so that's kind of cool to hear. It really is. I also remember that there's a band at some point in town that was just named Loomis. That was actually after Mr. Loomis. It was like
I didn't know that.
They're stealing our thunder.
Right. I'd have to talk to that. What's that cat? Dustin, man. That Dustin Hayes.
Okay.
Who did like the history of it? He'd probably know like what kind of music they were and everything.
I follow that guy on Instagram. He always posts some cool pictures of like, it's like he's like curating a history or like a museum of like old music shit from Wenatchee.
Yeah.
So I wonder, pretty cool pictures and stuff.
I wonder if there's a if there's any Whack Arnolds, you know.
Gotta sit down, Whack Arnold's round table.
Honestly, he probably like, I mean, him if anything would like maybe have any piece of like flyer or merch or whatever, like random thing that might have been floating around at the time. There's two things that like I've like repeated myself on these a million times, but there's two interesting things. So one, I remember where we were like, we got the head billing on that show and we were the head on the poster. Yeah. Because we told people that like it was this really good band from Seattle. Yeah. And then I also remember like 2 years after it happened, I was at a party coincidentally with Daryl, and there was this guy there and he came up to me and he's like, "Hey, you were in that Whack Arnold's band." He's like, I love you guys. You guys were just like Anal Cunt. I could get you guys a show anywhere.
Don't hear that every day.
Yeah.
The old AC.
That's something we'd have to put on the back of the 80 Tracks in 80 Minutes album. They're just like Anal Cunt.
We're like Anal Cunt.
No, that's the Whack Arnold's, man. Like now that was like, that to me was one of like for me, like there's a handful of the bands that I made that like really are, you know, just favorites, and the Whack Arnold's was just so much fun because it was like energy, destruction, and like I don't know, we were just having like a good time with it the entire, like, you know. And I think in that way it was like this very sort of like, you know, Andy Kaufman-esque like gimmick where it's like you have to be in on the joke. Like you have to understand that we're doing this because it's like we know we're fucking with you, and it's
Jared King Lawler, and Jared King Lawler's in on it, you know?
And it's like, you know, if only that knave would have been fucking you know,
did unplug us, that bastard.
But yeah,
I mean he could have been a plant. Maybe he was.
No, Scott went deep with that one. No, it was just such a fun project because it, like, how did it, like, I can't remember exactly how it got started that day. We were fucking.
I do.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Please enlighten us.
So Dusty wouldn't have. So because Dusty, you were a year behind Jared, right?
2 years.
Oh,
you
wow.
We
were graduating when.
So it was when I was
graduating when I was a freshman.
It was in. That's so weird. So it was when I was in 9th grade and Jared was in 8th grade. We the school put on this play called Godsend. Okay, So they were looking for a band to play for the show, right? So they put all these flyers for like tryouts. Come try out to be the band for this new school play. And I remember I went up to Jared and I was like, dude, how funny would it be to just go and just play really fucking shitty music, because all these other people are going to be super serious trying to get this role. Like, how funny would that be? And so it like morphed from there, because we were watching a bunch of Chappelle Show. That's where the name.
Classic Chappelle Show.
That's how it started.
Yeah, that's fucking. I'm like I now we're like kind of like remembering this a little bit.
Yeah, I remember
God. It's just like. Yeah, that sounds exactly on point for us, you know.
Infiltrate this.
And it just kind of went from there, you know. And what was the?
What if you were super serious the whole time? You got it, and you just classic bait and switch at the end, and when they actually go to perform,
that would have been cool. That's
this whole work.
That would have been better.
Well, that would have required me actually being able to play an instrument, but yeah.
Same, dude, same.
Fake it till you make it.
At that moment, I hadn't even but I was still yelling into a microphone for everybody.
Like, we went through so many variations, because I remember earlier we mentioned where we had our first show where we told people we were this band from Seattle or whatever, because the first live show, it was me, you, Andy Cutrich, and then and Nick Jackson playing a bass with the string missing.
Oh my god, dude! I forgot Cutrich was there. I used to roll with him, man.
And then it morphed into Dusty being in it and Rex, and that was more like that's when we recorded the 4-song EP.
Yeah, Coke Dorn, man. That's when Coke Dorn happened. And
yeah.
God, what were some of the other tracks off of there though? There was I
remember everything. What
did they got?
So there was Coke Dorn, there was Whack Intro.
Yeah, the Whack Intro.
Oh God, the Wenatchee Valley, and Hey There Cormano.
Hey there, Cormano.
So random.
Coke Dorn has to be the coolest name ever.
Yeah,
dude,
that guy was awesome.
What a badass, man. I mean, like he was such an interesting neighbor to have, like, because he was always just super friendly, but kept to himself, but was always like the friendly, like, grandpa like figure.
If you need advice, like,
he would
come on over, I'll give you some, like, he's fucking Mr. Wilson.
Yeah, like that was like the weird, like, he would do strange things. Like, he smelled like, sometimes if you got too close to him, he smelled like Mountain Dew and vodka, and it was like,
oh God.
I remember. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, I mean, like, he must have, like, that must have been like a drink of his or something, man, because like he on a couple of occasions they've given me some, like, friendly neighborly advice, we'll say. He definitely got, like, you could just like I said, you could just like smell it on his breath, but it was that combination. It was like ethanol, but also like
it was probably moonshine he made in his garage.
The only real interaction I had with him was one time me and you like pulled up to your house and we had Slurpees, and he yelled out from the window and he was like, "Hey, is there rum in that Slurpee?"
Yeah, boy.
These are daiquiris we're just driving around with.
We could have been.
Yeah, we could have been.
That wouldn't surprise me. We did that.
Yeah.
I remember letting Jared drive my car drunk. He like almost high centered it and picking up Scott Weiss, and his parents were just like, "What the fuck?"
Oh God.
Scott would need you to drive the rest of the way.
Yeah, something fishy about this situation. Yeah, man. That was when you had that. It was a Dodge Intrepid, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude! That Dodge.
We had some fun in that car.
Dude, we had some fun in that car.
I feel like that trunk was so large, like it was just a never-ending pit of random shit.
Dude,
do you remember the time we put like I forgot who was in the trunk, but they were in the trunk, and I drove through that really
through the 509 jump. Yeah. It was a 509 back roads. We put Elliot in there. Yeah, Elliot was in the trunk. There was like 6 of us crammed in your car. We're like, we cut through the 509 back roads, which is just Orchard Road.
509
It was so
back
bad.
roads.
It was like, dude, it was the worst road. I remember that.
Oh my god.
Hit that 509 jump at 80 miles an hour.
Oh, shit.
Everything, I forgot that everything back then was like 509.
Everything was either 509 or 988. Like 9802, 509. It was perfect, man.
Okay, so
Dude, we
speaking
also took Thomas Bussell down that once. You guys remember that shit? I don't know if you guys recall this,
Isn't
but
that guy like
was it
we're talking
about,
the Giant?
no, because it was this whole thing, dude.
was this in the back of a truck?
Yeah, it was in maybe this was with a couple different cats. This was with like
rode that big truck for a while.
I gotta hear. I wish I could remember who's there. But anyway, so Thomas Bussell, like I will say, like he was one of those kids in school where he was like off and on. How do I say? He was off and on getting picked on. And,
I feel bad for picking on him.
But this is the thing. Like I don't feel bad for this instance because this like the whole idea of like getting him to go down the back roads with us was basically sounds so weird. Was basically it came from like one day in a class he like made this like Holocaust joke to me, and where it was like something about like like a bunch of Jews in an ashtray or something like that.
That's right. Okay.
And I was just like, fuck this kid, man. Like, fuck you, Thomas. And like, so then we like, so basically we tied him like a mattress or I believe to the truck. And then we drove. He was on the mattress, and we're just like, the whole thing is like, you just gotta hang on, man. And then I think we left him out there too, which I may or may not have happened. That one I'm not unsure of. I remember
you telling me about that, and I was just like, oh,
but the
wow.
back roads, man, like that shit was ridiculous.
It's a 509.
509.
So
509, baby, 509.
Before we talk about 98802 crew, I just want to say one more thing about Whack Arnold's really quick.
Yeah,
so I remember there was a time, so we like made that first EP, we played like 2 shows, but then I remember during this time, like I graduated high school, so I was kind of like, I was going to the community college, and I was hanging out with the girl I was dating at the time, like, and we all really weren't hanging out. But I remember like you guys made a series of songs like without me and didn't even like talk to me about it. And I remember at the time, like now I don't care because that was like forever ago, but at the time I was like super bitter about that.
Oh man.
Whack.
I mean, for what it's worth, I do apologize about that. I guess it just, I mean, in the moment, I guess that, yeah. I mean, I remember that because there's always this weird, like, I mean, I feel like other people probably experience it too, but like sort of post high school, like disconnect in this way.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
You
everybody's still there, but you're out, and you're like, yep, I'm just chilling
because
today until
all of a sudden you're on like a
school.
different.
Schedule,
yeah. I don't know, and it is strange, but yeah, like that's the thing though, like, yeah, the Whack Arnold's like it had some different like iterations, but the most fun was, and like the foundation of it definitely stems from I mean, not to put the hat on myself, but Fitz and me, man. And that's kind of the fun thing I remember about it is like, me and Dusty, pretty much like me and Dusty and Rex pretty much started Jay Schmouder.
Yeah, from the ashes.
You know, and you and I kind of like really started roped in, got the Whack Arnold's like, together. And that became this like weird powerful fun thing for me to do as a kid. Like it was a great outlet for me. I was just like, at home I was just nothing but pent up, and so it was just like, it's just like this really fun way of just like fucking thrashing and just like fucking with people and just having such a fun. It was like this weird therapy.
Yeah.
Coke Dorn.
Yeah.
Screaming Coke Dorn.
Just with no intention of sounding good. Like that's the thing. Like that's the thing. Like it was like for a while it was like a weird mixture of like blast beats and just like
breakdowns in there
and whatever you guys were like doing.
I just remember playing shows and like breaking keyboards and breaking mics and just
I think we discussed last time how you kickflip We tried to kick the keyboard and did it on McGrady's back.
Yeah, dude. McGrady definitely remembers that one. He loved it. It's like such a fond memory for him, though. It sounds like it's kind of cool. But I remember that vividly, man.
He was a sacrificial lamb in our group.
I felt bad about that. Yeah.
He was. Well, how do I say? He was always willing to give it a try, I guess.
Yeah,
you know, you're like, somebody might get hurt this, Kim, and be like, I don't know if I care.
Russian
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, might as well give Russian roulette a try.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll take the lashing for reading hentai or whatever he was in hentai.
You know what he told me? You know what he told me was that the manga that he was reading that we that we punished him for was just like it was one note or Death Note.
Death Note, yeah.
And I was like, dang, that's actually like a pretty solid piece of work. Anyway, I promised him that he could whip me with a wet towel sometime. So he'll get his retribution one of these days.
He was gonna take 20 lashings, and we were like, "Are you sure?" After the first couple, those are painful.
Jesus,
dude, we were so fucking weird and awful. Really fun. It was really fun.
It was in Jameson's backyard. I wonder what his parents were thinking. Whipping this kid by the pool.
What the? Yeah, I was not there for that.
They're probably just laughing about it.
David doesn't want to take any ownership over the situation.
Yeah, I was not there.
This is what I was getting. I was getting power hungry and drunk with authority at the comic book club.
Which we also started. Yeah,
which is exactly it. Like we were popping those things off, man. But dude, the Whack Arnolds, we had some fun shows, man. That weird, the first show we did, like you were talking about with Cut Rich and Jackson, who I completely forgot Andy was even involved.
Yeah,
Nick Jackson, the wild card. That was such a random lineup. But you do remember doing Steppenwolfs, right? You do remember doing
yes,
Magic Carver.
Because we found that like at the dollar store it was like the Star Kid soundtrack. It was the cover of Steppenwolf, and it was so fucking awful. We're like, dude, we got to make our own cover.
It was like Jamiroquai's cover or something. It was some weird it shouldn't have existed cover of Magic Carver, right? But yeah, that was like I just remember like landing on that song for like that'll be like a cover that we don't know how to play.
And then we get cut off halfway through our set.
Which became kind of a trend.
It was.
Shut you down.
Because during the Halloween night show or the haunted theater show, we all rolled in. Like, how did that get booked? Like, how did we get thrown on there? Fucking
Jeremiah was like running that thing, that press room theater, like haunted house, and so he was like organizing the bands and stuff there, and he was like, "Oh, it's everybody will just have the Whack Arnolds play." There's like 40 people there standing in line to get into the stupid haunted house.
I was really bummed about that one because I remember like I was working at Target at the time. And so I called in sick that night, and I was heading to go to the show. And as I'm like walking up, I saw one of my bosses there. So I instantly like turned around and walked away. That's why I wasn't there that night. Yeah.
I know.
I think I remember that.
That's such a
way. Yeah.
I remembered that you could you couldn't make it, but I didn't realize that was like the exact reason I couldn't.
And then you guys had like a fucking like radio interview that night. I was like, God damn it!
Oh yeah.
It was like some really quick thing on the sidewalk, where it's like I don't like how did it
quick blurb for KW3.
It was just so funny. There was the Whack Arnold. It was like because I remember at the time.
How the hell did that happen?
I was like I couldn't think of like a single like legitimate like group that was like trying to.
I don't think Jeremiah got anybody legitimate there. He got his friends' bands.
But that was what was it? Was that maybe the second time that we got unplugged? And that was like the one that escalated, like because that one Like
Yeah,
this
that
guy from the crowd just walked up and unplugged the
Holy shit! Really?
yeah,
Yeah,
he got so mad about what we were doing that he
Very
walked across
mean.
the court and unplugged the PA system in the middle of us playing on it.
Very
Jesus.
angry dad.
That's hilarious, though.
Got called him the knave in the green jacket.
It was so fucking funny, like thinking about it, because he was like so irate. And you know, don't get me wrong, I probably would have like, it was more like a test of like willpower for the people in line, probably. Like they were just like, on one hand, they were like looking forward to the haunted theater, like, okay, I'm gonna get spooked, like it's gonna be kind of fun, my adrenaline's gonna pump. And then the other hand, like they're trying to like drown, you know, ignore like the fact that we're just berating their eardrums with noise.
Garbage.
Like, they have to spend 45 minutes standing in line listening to this noise or whatever, you know, but they have to stand there listening to this noise in order to like achieve the haunted theater. And it's like, so that man broke. He couldn't handle it.
That's great.
His willpower failed him. He walked over and unplugged our PA, and then he got berated by a bunch of fucking teenagers in front of everybody.
He had just got his 1 year anger management coin. And that set him over the edge.
He was like, I got this. I got this. He's like, no, fuck it. Yeah, it was so like, I just remember one of my favorite memories about that whole thing though was after the fact, we drove Rex's truck back around and just drove it into like the kind of main square area that they had set aside for this. And we rolled up their drum carpet and took it and threw it in the back of the rug and just drove off with it.
Jesus.
We're like, this is how you treat stars.
Well, and then the third show got canceled too. We played at that was the one where he was the keyboard stand.
Yeah, dude.
I broke it. So a funny thing about that is like I was trying to pretend like I was Adam from Taking Back Sunday, and I was like swinging the mic around and broke it.
Oh, yeah.
And before I moved to Spokane, like I was working at Albertsons, and this guy came in like 3 different times and was like, "Hey, you're that kid that broke my mic. Like, I need the money."
I found you. Like, what the fuck?
Like,
dude, that show was.
I remember getting that job with you there, David.
yeah, you got me the job. Yeah.
Remember the wine bottle incident?
Oh.
I remember that one. I remember that.
Strategically set it up where at we had the hourly sweeps we had to do. Had a sponge that I was walking with, and as I was sweeping by the wine, I squeezed it so even on camera there was water there.
Yeah, it technically was.
And we're just like strategically standing by the pharmacy, hanging those stupid like $1 bullshit. And Jared just walks up. "Excuse me, sir. Where are your playing cards?" Like, "Oh yeah, they're over there with the wine." He just walks over and you're like whistling, grab the cards, you kind of like flip it up in your hand, catch it, and all the wine.
I took so much down with me, like it was ridiculous. Like I remember. I mean, like we had it orchestrated. Like it was like we were pulling it off like Ocean's fucking 3 over here. Okay, like, you know, we had it down. But I just remember like. The way I spilled was like I was starting to go down, and I remember like thinking I better grab stuff before I hit the ground, otherwise it'll look like, you know. And so I just like sweep. I just like clothesline the bottles of wine onto the ground, and there was so much, dude. It was at least like 15 fucking bottles broke on the ground.
We had to clean it. Yeah,
it was well worth it.
But it was just I had wine. Like, I was like literally like I looked like fucking Tommy Lee Jones's Two-Face. Like I had wine like on half of my body that made me look kind of reddish, and I smelled so bad.
You just go and get back in Troy's blazer and
dude, the
off.
blue blazer, man. That thing was a terror around town if you think about it.
You know what was one of the more ridiculous things about that whole scenario?
What
is that? The fact that Jared, after you did that and left, like me and Dusty went up to talk to the manager on duty, and they were like, "Oh well, so we had like a streak of incident free. So they swept it under the rug so we could continue.
So we could wear jeans on Fridays or something.
No way.
Didn't you like, cut your pinky open or something?
Yeah, it was like out of all that, like I did not get hurt like at all, which was surprising to me because of all the broken glass. But I got like this little cut on my finger, and they actually made me fill out like a little like.
I remember at the desk there, and we were like witnesses of what happened, and just like.
I think the next day we all got together at Starbucks and we're like,
cross the street. Everyone just saw us sitting outside there.
How did we even think of that, man? That's great.
It's like the end of the Ocean's 11 movie where they're all sitting outside of Bellagio watching the fountains go off. They pulled off this massive heist.
Sipping our Starbucks and just watching people just store books. Dude,
Jesus.
Okay. So, like, Whack Arnold's aside, like, we can talk about that more, like, in the future, too. But I do want to touch on the 98802 crew.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because, like, that was 509.
That was an era.
That was like a whole era in itself. It was because it was such a funny, again, like, and this is the thing that I really like, the trend that I saw behind at least all the projects that I was a part of with you guys, and it sounds like that in general with everybody. Like, it just like it stems from wanting to like just have fun, wanting to like kind of get some humor, like I don't know, just make some laughs, make somebody laugh, piss somebody off probably, which will make us laugh, you know.
Yeah.
Whatever. And it was just like that, like 98802 crew is a very prime example of that, because like that was it was so ridiculous. Like you had the parts, like you were the one that was like
I mean, a lot of that stems from just being fortunate enough to be
almost.
Fortunate enough to have a shred of talent, especially when you hang around somebody like the Dix Boys that are talented.
Because that's how it like originally started. Is one night I was at Elliot and Calvin's, wow, and it was like first because I was friends with Calvin first, and then I was just at their house and Elliot was like making some beats, and I was like, let's make a rap song. Yeah, and we made the 509 for life, and then like it just exploded from there.
Dude,
but my favorite part was coming up with all the stupid fucking names for everybody.
That was like,
you're gonna be Dollarsack.
Who you made somebody 40 bomb?
Yeah,
that was Zach Street was 40 bomb.
That's right.
40 there's not even such thing as
yeah, dude, I
liked Kala Papa.
Yeah, Kala Papa.
Dollar Tree and
Dollarsack. Dude, Coins is probably the best though.
Coins legitimately the best one to me though. Like, mine aside, like I love Coins. Like,
Coins is the best.
Like, I just always imagine Coins with like a little C and a Z at the end.
Yeah,
like, you know,
like I had a K at 5.
You think
I thought it was a C and a Z.
Yo, dude,
I thought it was a K.
You're the Coins, so you can claim it how you want. But I just
you always call me the quintessential Coins.
Yeah, the quintessential Coins. Like,
remember, my name is Coins.
If you don't,
you feel it loins.
Oh, we got it. You got it here.
That's a classic line. Yeah.
Dude, that's such a classic line. I was actually gonna send that to everybody a while ago. I was like, oh, I'm feeling in my loins, because I was like listening to that song. But man, yeah, like, okay, so who all did? Okay, I mean, I don't know, everybody's gonna get their name named if we can. Who all do we have? Okay, what was David, what was your, like, did you have an official
I really honestly didn't, like, it would always
DJ Fitzgerald.
Well, I know, like, there's Fitzy, there's like Fitz, there's like Fitzgerald.
I never had like a actual moniker. Everyone else did.
You're kind of like Puff Daddy, where you just changed it. You didn't Puff Daddy.
Yeah,
changed my name. Yeah,
you named everybody. You're like the godfather of everybody there. You named everybody, but like, yeah, I never thought that you did either. And I was like, that was kind of an interesting thing. I was like, I don't think that like I remember you like having much like you usually just use like your name or like even just like part of like Fitz or something instead of just like, coming up with something some like completely detached name. I don't know if that was ever like a conscious decision or not. Like I always loved that. I love AKAs, you know what I mean? Like but there's also something to be said about like not having just using your name. I think that's kind of a fairly bold choice, but
I think we all try to be anonymous with some of the lyrics.
But sure. But yeah, with 9802 crew is definitely part of that. Like we're none of like all of us were still under like house rule for the most part. Like we were kind of like trying to be incognito about this because it was a very vulgar project.
Offensive.
Half the band going through puberty at the time.
You thought
talking about
me and Elliot was like and then you have Rex who's this deep ass voice.
Dude,
Elliot was honestly like the most like I got better when I got older, but like going back and listening to those, there's a lot of songs where I was like off beat or trying to fit too many words into a bar, and at the time like Elliot was so good, like all his parts were perfect, and I like looking back I was like fuck.
He probably has like the most consistent like good timing, I'd say.
Yeah.
Like I definitely there's like one of the 2 tracks I was on, like it's completely off time. Like I was listening to it and it's just like there's like not a single bar I say
completely
that is like that like sounds like it lines up. And I was
getting those bucks.
It wasn't getting those bucks. Getting those bucks, I have a couple of bars that I'm on, but
crazy ass home milk and
champion. Yeah, that's
crazy ass home run and tip milk and champion. Yeah, dude.
That's a great line.
It was the other song. It was like
509 cut.
Yeah.
That was such a funny one to make. I remember like I was like, let's have it like a phone ringing at the beginning.
Love.
That was 509 Love. Yeah.
We were talking about cut that entire song.
Oh yeah, 509 Love. Yeah.
Answering machine at the start.
Yeah,
dude, it was like. It's
hello,
so
ladies.
Yeah, dude. Your voicemail is so smooth. What up, ladies? What it is?
I was like, we ain't never done it before. We had to do it.
We hadn't done it before. Yeah, we had to do it. No, we had to do it. It's so good, dude. It's like I love it.
Classic.
It's like that's like a rap song trope. You have this intro.
It is, and that's exactly why I remember we were like into doing it, because it was like, how are we gonna like really make this kind of like a play,
It's like the deep track on an album, but it never hears the radio.
It's exactly. Yeah, there was like, I mean, that was, in thinking about it, it was just like, honestly, it was this really like deep, vulgar satire of like what rap was at the time, which is sort of like,
it's a good way to put it.
Like,
I don't know if you can hear this or not.
Oh shit!
What it is, ladies. It's your boys here, 9802 crew. We got a little surprise for you. This is 509 Love. Sending this out to every female. We had to do it. We ain't doing it yet, so it's like a first time.
It's like a
track. We got your boys Dollar Set, 40 Bomb, and Collar Papa. I'm ready to make you want this real hard.
Oh my god, dude. Oh,
40 Bomb and Collar Papa.
I needed that.
That was so fucking good.
I needed that.
God,
I'm gonna have to listen to that whole song tonight.
I am too, honestly.
I think that. What's up?
No, what'd you get?
I think that getting those bucks or Super Smash Brothers were my favorites. Though
those are my 2 big ones. Super Smash Bros. I'm not even on, but you guys fucking slayed it. Like, it's such a fun song to listen to. Like, And it's such a
inspired
weird
by,
kind of fun beat too, honestly.
Yeah.
I feel like that was inspired by that. It was the first time I ever got drunk at my house. And
Yo.
Oh
Hennessy.
God.
Hennessy.
Yeah, Hennessy.
Don't say it.
You played through the Super Smash Brothers campaign, just hammered like in 10 minutes or something.
I don't think I died either, but
just blasted through it.
we can not mention what else happened that night, but yeah, let's just keep it with that.
Fair enough. Yeah, dude, that was. Yeah, that song's probably my favorite out of the lineup. Getting those bucks was a really fun one because that was just like for me that was just like the first time I had participated in the crew, the 98.
That was the first coin song because that was the second song they had done because the prior one was only David and Elliot. So
Getting those bucks is great.
had that rip off of Bloodhound Gang.
No, that was
Oh, that's 50. Was which 509 song is it?
Maybe it's Straight Up.
No, Straight Up's the one with.
No, it wasn't Straight Up. It was the one with Natural Disaster on it.
Natural Disaster, Straight Up
Hater Smasher. Yeah, but what was that song called? God damn it.
Tokyo Crib.
I think that song's I think that's Straight Up.
Yeah,
I think that's Straight Up. I think 509.
yeah, that one.
This is Straight Up.
Okay.
Then what's the other one? There's one that's like kind of the beat like it started like that. There's like another one that I am thinking of like 509 something. I think it's just you and Elliot.
That was the first one.
Straight Up.
Okay, so that was the first one. Okay. Never
No,
mind.
509 for Life was the first one, but
Oh,
yeah,
the one
you're
that
right.
Dusty
Okay.
played was Straight Up. Yeah.
Gotcha. That's where my
Yeah.
confusion always was with the project. Honestly, like I didn't know which of those two was like the original track.
Yo, what's up?
Oh no.
982 crew, damn right. Points and who? Carla Papa.
Yo.
$1.03 and dollar stack. Yeah,
motherfucker.
Straight up.
You gotta get those dollars, bitch.
We gotta get those bucks.
Bucks. Let's not. Yeah, we should not play it.
Yeah. We'll say getting those bucks.
Getting those books. I love that. The chorus is so ridiculous.
Yeah, I
Oh
don't
my god, dude.
remember which one Natural Disaster was. It Lickety Split.
No. I think it was Straight Up, maybe.
But
It was.
Either way.
I'll need to
Either
go
way,
back
man.
and listen to all those.
yeah, that was just a ridiculously
But
fun.
Elliot
time, too.
killed it on all the beats. Like, those beats are dope.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
like that was again, like you were trying to talk about David. Like it was it sounds like for you as well as for me, David. Like we weren't really like we didn't really have like music equipment or music around us necessarily like that.
No.
And so it was when we started like getting introduced to like all of you guys and started seeing how musically like oriented like a lot of your guys' activities were. It was really fun to
Yeah.
start getting into that world, you know,
Yeah,
being
for
like,
sure.
just starting to fuck around with like talking
Yeah.
behind a microphone or rapping or singing or whatever. And then like,
Mhm.
I don't know. It was just always impressive to me because it was that what you guys were doing because I was just so foreign to it at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, we're just lucky enough to have someone like Elliot around, just like equipment like Elliot and Rex had, and just
Well,
all
yeah, but
fucking
you did,
talent.
how
guys had.
long have you been playing guitar though, Dusty? Like,
I started like in 8th grade when I started hanging around Elliot and Rex and all those guys.
yeah,
Okay.
because I mean I put you in that category too, Dusty, where I think like when I think of like the guys that like kind of helped get me into like recording music or playing music, I definitely think of like you're right up there.
Yeah,
for
it all
myself,
stemmed
so.
from like Elliot and Calvin. Mostly Calvin was a huge influence on our whole group.
He was so.
Yeah.
I feel like at that time, because I remember there was like all anybody wanted to play was metal, and I felt like Calvin was so ahead of his time, and that DFR was so like underappreciated.
Oh, that whole like Starving Eyes bullshit craze was so that was so bad.
I was friends with all those guys, and I get it, but like it just sucked because DFR was super talented, but people were like, we just want to listen to metal, you know?
Yeah, it was like exactly. I agree with you.
Yeah,
It was like
cool.
hard. Yeah, no worries. It was like the hardcore metal were popping off in the valley, but DFR was like playing psychedelic rock.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so fucking cool. That's why I got super into it, dude. Like when I was a kid, I was just like, God damn, dude, like you guys are really like, it's just, you're all my friends, but it's really fun to fucking watch you guys play and like listen to you
They were
guys.
good.
But yeah,
Calvin, everything that Calvin did, it like I was in art class and everything he did, he was so talented at. It's crazy.
yeah, man. I think that dude just, he's a very gifted individual.
Exactly.
You know, he's able to hone his focus and like his energy and his concentration into like really, you know, the thing, his endeavors, we'll say, and it really does turn out. David, have you listened to any of the what the Dix brothers have been kind of doing lately? They have,
so it's called like the I think I've seen like on Instagram that he's in a band. They're called like the Vanity Gallery or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of confused by. Yeah,
they used to have the Withering Blooms.
What happened with that project?
They all kind of split up because like Jake Guzman was in that with them, and they just kind of decided they wanted to do their own thing.
Okay.
So I remember I went and saw their last show in Seattle.
Where was that at?
Is that the High Dive?
Oh, I've played there. I love that space.
It's a cool place for sure. But yeah, so we watched them play their last show there. That was like almost 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
What was the name of that one?
Withering Blooms.
Oh, okay.
They're pretty good.
There's an album on Spotify if I'm correct of that. And that's actually check it out, David.
And-
It's a really fun album.
Calvin plays guitar or what?
Yeah. It's like Calvin Elliott. Who else was in that one? You said
Because I haven't talked to those guys in like over a decade.
Austin was in that. Jake Guzman.
okay.
That's cool that it was all people that
The drummer
they
was
still
from our circle.
are friends.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But what about the Vanity Gallery? So is that the ongoing project that they're working on?
I think that's a similar thing that they started without Jake.
I like that name for sure.
Yeah,
It's
I've seen some
like prog rock kind of 70s style.
Yeah, it's like prog psychedelia, like
Because they were like huge Rush fans, so it makes sense.
dude. I like this is the thing, man. Like you got like. I think they were huge Rush fans. If I'm correct, I think Rex was into Rush.
Yeah, for sure.
Rex and Calvin definitely got involved in the Rush.
When I finally had access to Rush, like I just never listened to him back then, and I never like my dad never showed me him. You know, my folks never showed me him. Like there wasn't. When I finally listened to Rush, it blew my fucking dick off, dude. Like I go deep on Rush now. Like I go like, oh, I love it. Like I understand. I'm in there. I'm like, yes, they are the trio, man.
They're Neil Peart's. They're one of the most talented bands ever. Like Neil Peart's probably the best drummer of all time, in my opinion.
Rest in fucking peace. Sure. But yeah, like he, like what I love, what's so impressive about Pert to me is that he was an insanely great drummer to begin with, in my opinion. Like, but he recognized that he could even progress, and so he, like basically just like relearned his style and like how to like kind of a different way of playing, like. During his career.
He basically wrote all their music too.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
All the lyrics and stuff was all in like 2112 was all him.
Huh.
Well, and like, I can't remember off the top of my head, like, when the passing of some of his family members happened, but you could tell like, I don't know, like I think Pert just had like
it's like a son or something like that.
He lost some sort of child and I think he
I feel like that happened to like 4 different huge
that's
artists, like Eric
same
Clapton.
thing. Yeah, I was just gonna say Clapton. Yeah,
Robert Plant.
Yeah,
what's the cool thing about Clapton is that he's been clean for like forever.
Now,
forever, and it's just so cool. Like, I don't know, he's definitely like one of those people that's like such an inspiration, because how many You
ever hear how his son died?
No.
So he had this high-rise condo that they lived in, and his son would always run and jump off the couch and into the window to like look out.
No way.
And so one day the cleaning lady was there. She dropped the window down to let air in while she was cleaning. And the son ran and did that and flew out the window and fell like 20 stories down onto top of another building. And he was still alive for like a little bit or something like that too. And then he eventually died.
That's fucked up.
Tragic fucking thing.
That's so sad.
That's fucked up. So when did? So do you guys say he's been sober for 30 years? Is that what I heard?
It's been like at least 20.
Oh my god!
I think it was the early '90s he got sober.
Because like he was into heroin too, you know. I mean, there's a lot of
I mean
that were, but
those guys are all just like on heroin and are alcoholics.
It's really cool to see like. Cool. I mean, it is just like, I think David, you used the right word, inspirational in a way where it's something to see like people like that, where it's like, I mean, to me, one of those guys from like that sort of old guard was like Tom Petty in a way where it's like the guy was just like this eternal energy machine, it seemed like.
Yeah. And
that's something I wish to be, you know, is just like always have the energy to like keep, you know, making something or keep being, you know, doing the things that I want to do and stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm glad that I got to see him live before he passed away. It was like 10 years ago at the Gorge, and it was easily one of the best shows I've ever seen.
Damn, dude. Dusty, did you ever see him?
No, I feel like he was definitely like he was always he played there every year, I think, but never. I mean, I got to see Styx, REO Speedwagon, and Foreigner all in one night.
Fair enough.
So
I heard Petty's shows were always just like awesome.
He's just mind blowing. Yeah.
I heard his last tour before his passing. Like I heard it like he was like going hard, like, you know, every night, which I thought was just like at the time before even knowing that he was like, you know, before he died. You know, you're just like, damn, dude. Say what?
He had like cancer the whole time, and he was going.
He did, man. And that was the fucking wild thing. It's like, I don't know, man. It's just
that
like,
takes a certain type of person. Yeah,
exactly.
It's like fucking Chadwick Boseman. You're like, what? He's fucking suffering through pancreatic cancer.
No one even knew. Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah,
nobody.
He's
man.
Still like jacked up for Black Panther and stuff like that.
Yeah, man. That was like was another real shocking one. It was just sort of like, I don't know. I thought it was really admirable in a lot of ways because it's
he didn't want the attention.
Well, you don't want the attention, but you know that you have like a finite amount of time, so you're like, what the fuck am I going to contribute, you know? And so you just try and spend the rest of your time like leaving that, you know, contributing in some way. And I think that's what Boseman I think did. I think at Petty's point in life, he had like, you know, his contribution to culture is
will live on forever. Yeah,
is solidified forever. But I think he was like more interested in going out on a strong note.
For sure.
I mean, I don't know. It's just interesting. Like, I don't think he was worried about his legacy as much as he was worried about maybe like having the moments for himself in those last ones, or maybe I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know Petty, but obviously, but that in this weird selfish way, I think that's why people create, and you know, it's not always for other people. It's sometimes it's got to be for yourself.
Yeah,
you know, you push stuff out because you need it out, like off of your soul. You know, you need it like somebody else to listen to it or look at it or read it or take it on in some form, because good or bad, it makes it, in this way, it's like easier to carry that on you, you know, because it's, you know, I don't know, it just lets it go in this really strange way, but also simultaneously really attaches yourself to work that you really care about. But I don't know, it's interesting. But that's something that, like I said, like I feel like it's really cool about this group that we had growing up. You know, it's just everybody always was contributing something, and everybody was always putting forth like humor and energy and fun and like, you know, creativity, and as adults you see that still with everybody, like everybody's like, you know, pushing those same kinds of energies in a lot of ways, and it's kind of interesting and it's cool, and I'm really glad that
you see like some of the shit
part of all this shit, you know,
see some shit like Flannery turns out now.
Dude, Flannery
stuff, super good.
Flannery stuff's awesome, man, and
his anime rock song. So awesome.
And what's great is that you see him having fun with it. You know, it's all fun music, man.
He's like, kind of making fun of himself at the same time. Like,
exactly. And I think it's really on point for Nick's personality. And I think that like that's the thing that I always loved about everybody, was that they didn't hide their personality. In fact, like through whatever we were creating and working on was like where we really pushed our personalities out there. You know what I mean? And it helped I think kind of shape those a little bit. don't know. It's just fucking great, man. I really love looking back on all that shit, and that's why it's still kind of fun to like sort of try and recapture some of those energies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm always trying to randomly work on stuff, you know, whether it's some random beat that I've cherry picked from Jeremiah. David, like there's that one I posted up. I really got to get on like posting a couple more, because I would love to like see what you might write to some stuff.
I would love to make some serious shit, yeah.
Because that's the thing about you, my friend. Like you like me, I think for a really long time we weren't around equipment or means to like get to record.
Yeah.
And but you've always had like really you're just a really talented lyricist, and you're a really talented performer, and I think that's,
thank you.
Yeah, I think it's just something that, like, you know, you know, it's worth continuing on. So I think, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
And same thing with you, Dusty, man. Like what I love about your performing is that you are always fun, man. Like you're always, how do I say, you're not afraid to be the center of attention sometimes, it felt like. And I thought that was something that's so fucking cool about you. Like sometimes I, like, even though I always did vocals, and like it seemed like you know, I was there for the attention. Like attention always makes me nervous, and
oh yeah, oh no, I get that for sure.
I mean, but I don't handle it as well as other people. Like when I get that kind of nervous, it's like sometimes I tense up, sometimes I'll get loose, but most of the time I'm just like, okay, let's just do it, let's get, like, yeah, okay. You know, and slowly I'll get into it. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like I don't know, it's like I said, like that's something I've always loved about you, Dusty, is that like you seem to find a way. I mean, whether you do it intentionally or not, or it's a struggle for you, you seem to always find a way to kind of like turn that into like a positive sort of like fun energy, like pretty quick. It's like a pretty quick turnaround for you, at least. You know.
Always look on the bright side of life.
Oh, there it is. Absolutely. I was just reading all about this. I never realized back in the day that Monty Python the Holy Grail was funded so much by musicians. Have you guys heard about all that? Like Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin.
They must have all been huge fans of the Flying Circus then.
Yeah. They like all, basically the Monty Python, the Holy Grail wouldn't have ever gotten made unless they had like all these like major groups donated tons of like pounds to the group to get it funded.
Pounds.
Yeah, it's really kind of cool. I was like, holy shit, man. Like, and you're right. Like, I think you're spot on, dude. I think they just were all really big fans of the Monty Python troupe.
Dry ass humor.
Dude. I remember Luke Gillespie's mom used to bring home, she used to work at the East Wenatchee Library, and she would bring home VHS tapes of Monty Python, the Flying Circus, and me and Luke would watch them and just crack the fuck up. like yeah, I mean,
I remember seeing those late night infomercials for box sets of Monty Python's Flying Circus.
Dude, I sort of miss late night infomercials.
Yeah, I know. I never
still hear the Girls Gone Wild theme song.
Oh God. Those were great.
Did you guys ever buy anything off of an infomercial?
No, never.
No? If there's one thing you could have bought off of an infomercial, is there anything that you would?
Slapjack.
Wait, what? Did you say flapjack?
Snapjack.
Oh,
Snapjack. Was it Nut Crusher?
Yeah.
What was that called?
That was revolutionary.
That or that towel that just soaked up everything.
The ShamWow.
Dude, the ShamWow from Vince.
Didn't that guy die of a drug overdose?
I think I don't know for sure, but I'm going to say
That's
yes.
sad. Yeah,
Slap Chop. Slap Chop.
Slap Chop.
Yeah.
He also was slinging that, but I believe he had a crack addiction.
Slap Chop.
That's right.
I remember like the story of Vince, the ShamWow guy, getting into like some sort of intoxicated altercation with a hooker or in like Florida or something like that. And there was like basically like it, like from the photos, it looked like he got the crap kicked out of him.
Yeah, I remember seeing those mugshots. And
it was like, I don't know, it was just like such a strange thing. Because at the time you're just like, I don't know this guy except for ShamWow.
Yeah.
And Slap Chop.
Slap Chop.
Really random. Yeah.
Who's the guy that used to do the OxyClean commercials?
Billy Mays.
Yeah.
Billy Mays here.
Dude, that guy cared about your clothes.
I like the guy for the Flex Seal.
Oh, yeah.
Slapping shit.
Anytime there's a seal, just...
No, it's like
Flex
it's
Seal.
so ridiculous. It's like
absurd.
You can flex seal this person's face. It just takes a dark turn.
we would have had some fun with that shit if it was out during high school. We would have been like Flex Seal and shit.
Dude, yeah, that would have been no good for the town.
Flex sealing people's mailboxes shut.
Dude. Not that I think it's a good idea now, but if we had that idea back in the day, I definitely would have wanted to do that.
Yeah.
Fuck the sledgehammer.
Oh, yeah. Let's not talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah,
The statute of limitations might have passed by now.
there's
But
definitely.
okay, real quick though, do you guys remember the mustard bottle?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh yes.
I think about
do.
that and just die laughing about how outrageous the whole incident was, and then we were in Rex's shop one day looking through the newspaper and finding the clip.
Yeah.
Blotter of it.
I saw that. I could not believe that. I was just like, oh fuck.
I don't remember the plotter, but oh my god, dude. Yeah, I definitely vividly remember that, which is strange because I remember like that night we also drank up like a liter and a half of, well, or somebody. I mean, maybe
Yeah, you guys were shit faced,
but-
and like the three of me, Elliot, like Rex and Zach Street were in the car. Like,
yeah, but
it was terrifying at the time.
at the time, but yeah, it's
Jesus.
it's there.
How did we even get booze? Like, I don't even remember.
That's the strange thing.
Didn't you would go into what's this place's house and he just
Oh
had
no,
all this booze.
Scott's grandparents.
Scott's grandparents, like,
Yeah.
Scott would like every
Yeah,
now
Scott
and
would
then
get it.
every
for
now and then
there.
hug like a half gallon of gin. And
Ugh,
then
yeah.
it was the Ellison brothers, dude, because they
Yeah,
were always
that's
left
right.
at home by themselves, man.
That's right.
Their parents were pretty.
There's always a party,
ritzy,
yeah.
and they were always gone, and so like, yeah.
Yeah, I remember
Basically,
that
I can't
night
remember if
particularly.
it was Josh or
Josh was the younger one that was in Scott's grade.
yeah, but who's the? I mean, I can't remember
Jeremy.
his name, Jeremy or Josh, who like was just like, yeah, just come over and
Take
yeah,
whatever
basically
you
you just
want.
like come over and grab something, and so we definitely took him up on it. You know what I mean? Like,
Like Grand Marnier.
but oh, dude, yeah,
The Hello
we
Goodbye dance night.
we were classy that day. But yeah, Josh Ellis, I reffed basketball with him for a season. That was like the random strange connection I had there. But David, you kind of knew Jeremy though, didn't you?
Yeah, we were like when I first moved to Wenatchee in like 7th grade, like we were friends for a little while. Then we kind of grew apart, but yeah, I do remember that at that time, like they were living with their dad, and he was always
Their
gone.
dad.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was like this big house, and it was always a party. Yeah,
Yeah. There was always like a party there. It was crazy, and it was just like it wasn't even that far up the road from where I lived. It was like
right.
up 8th Street or whatever it was.
Yeah, it was
like,
on 10th or whatever.
10th, or whatever. But it was just like, I was just like, damn, dude, like.
Do you remember that? I'll go back to that Hello Goodbye dance night. Like one of the first times I hung out with you guys, and we went to the Ellisons and got like a bottle of Grand Marnier.
I do remember the Grand Marnier, man. I remember being very. I was like, I thought this would taste different, but it's.
And then we went over to. This name came to my head the other day because I saw him. We went over to Nick Soteropoulos' house.
Oh my god,
man.
dude! I haven't thought about that cat in
We
forever.
were hanging out in the front yard, and like a cop was driving by, and David took the Grand Marnier, put it behind a rake.
I do remember that.
The rake didn't hide anything.
No. Jesus.
But you tried it. I do.
He
remember
was a
that.
character.
I
Yeah.
swear
Yeah,
I saw
he
him
was.
the other day outside of Arlberg. And I was like, oh my god, Nick Soteropoulos.
That's wild, man.
And it's just like Obi-Wan, that's a name I haven't heard in a long
A
time.
long time.
Right.
Yeah, well, that was it. Like David, I think you were always a little more connected with the Wenatchee kids than I was, and I don't know. Like, I don't know if that was the same case for you, Dusty, but like I feel
No,
like
not really.
yeah,
I don't know if it's David was dating a girl from that school or something or what.
Yeah.
Well, but even
At the
before
time.
that, I thought you were. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm speaking out, but I just feel like you had like you were kind of like a little more connected with them in general than like the rest of us, which was kind of interesting because like there was always that like, I don't know, Wenatchee East Wenatchee divide in a way,
Right.
with like everything in the valley. It was. I don't know.
It was so stupid. Yeah, it was like we can't hang out with them. Yeah, but
yeah, it was like
I
this
think
weird.
it started with me because I was friends with like Chris and like Chris and Bryant were friends with all those Wenatchee guys, and that's how that started.
Yeah, because they
I
were
started
doing,
meeting
Oh
them.
yeah, from the bands and stuff. Yeah.
But then when I was dating, I met a bunch of people from Wenatchee. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's right. Bryant and Chris Burge were playing in a band with
Save the Hero. Yeah.
yeah, they're playing Save the Hero, which I remember they were actually pretty cool.
They were good. Yeah.
Because Bryant was like fucking insanely talented at drums.
He's one of
Like,
those guys that's just good at everything. It's weird.
Yeah, and it, like obviously his painting as speaks for itself. But it's like Save the Hero because that was also with wasn't David Kasnick in that for a bit or something? Or
Yes.
and that was the connection there, and then
James Dorsey.
James Dorsey, who's like jumps off things now or something like that.
Yeah.
Have you seen any of that? Have you seen any of that cat's video?
It's gnarly.
Was he bass scooper?
Yeah, dude, it's like no joke. He just like I watched a video somewhere of like, and I didn't even think I saw the name James Dorsey, and I was like, I didn't register it at the time, and I was like, oh shit, and then it was just him jumping off of like a fucking tower or something like that.
Jesus.
But that's right. Like, and I remember that kind of was what bled into the whole sort of like metal apocalypse thing that kind of happened in the valley where everybody was playing
that
metal.
was brutal.
Because one person listened to Avenged Sevenfold, Unholy Confessions, and then like it just sort of like spilled out from there.
Yeah, that was that mixtape that made its way around.
But
it was just had all this metal on it and stuff. That was not. I wouldn't even consider it metal these days.
No, I mean metal is just like a whole different thing now.
It's like metalcore. Yeah.
Try talking to Caleb McGrady and Jeremiah about metal. Like it's like they are the way they talk about metal music is like a completely different level of like how I even think.
Yeah, I never really got into metal as much, but
yeah,
I've always been more the alternative.
Definitely.
Maybe some emo stuff, some pop punk.
Of course. Yeah.
All that stuff.
Definitely like I don't know. Like I listen to so much different stuff right now, which is kind of like I've been like purposely trying to like broaden my horizons at the moment. So I've been making Jeremiah's been sending me like 7-8 tracks a day of like just random stuff that he's like listening to, and so it's helping kind of push my envelope a little bit.
That's cool.
But because for me, like, and this I think comes from like not actively having like music around until I was able to burn CDs from people and stuff like that, or like get things on my Dell
on your Dell pod
player. Yeah, my Dell pod when I was like in teens. But it was like I'll listen to, I get stuck with like the same things, you know what I mean? Like I'll just like, and it's not that they're bad albums or like bad groups to listen to, but it's just like I don't know. Sometimes
you find your niche and you're like, this is what I like.
Yeah, and that's not bad at all, but it's like it's sometimes it's just
good to step outside your comfort zone.
Yeah, I guess I just don't listen to current music enough. I listen to like old, like everything's in retro. Everything's like 5-10 years behind. So.
I get that for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's music's always been like one of the things that I've just for myself just I think it helps bind. It helps like definitely like attach. Myself to other people. It's like
the other day I
like connect to people on that level.
What was I listening to? I remember I was watching and Wrote the Joy started playing, like the Bright Eyes song, and I was like all of a sudden just snapped back to that that Bright Eyes mood and just was like listening to all his shit.
Yeah,
forgetting like how much I was into that and like. I remember when like Casadega came out or whatever. That was a pretty huge album. I always thought some people didn't like it, but I was like, oh my god, that takes me back to 10th grade.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, man. if I'm trying to think of like my favorite things that were on my Dell pod, what like you guys got that like
The Dandy Warhols were on there.
Yeah, the Dandy Warhols, dude.
Jesus.
Whether it was actually that album, I still listen to that album.
I haven't listened to them in so long.
What about you guys? Like, if you're thinking about it, like, is there any like old iPod
It was always
staples or like old burn CD staples or whatever? Like
always Bright Eyes, Death Cab.
Yeah, exactly. Postal Service, yeah.
Postal Service.
Postal Service. David, you introduced me to Postal Service for sure.
Decemberists.
Decemberists, yeah.
Neutral Milk Hotel, shit like that.
Oh yeah, Neutral Milk.
I was so bent when when Neutral Milk did that tour, and the tickets were just so expensive.
I believe it. Yeah.
I mean, I believe it because everybody was asking for it since they stopped, you know. And
since '85 when they stopped playing music.
Exactly, and so I mean, they definitely were able to pull it off. But I was just like, there goes my hopes of seeing Neutral Milk Hotel. You know,
Yeah.
like that's okay. Here's the question for you, really. I guess is what like coming out of COVID, like shit, you know, and like live music being closed down. Like, what's a group that you hope to see either first or like hope to see before they like, you know, retire? Like, I'm worried about like Tenacious D coming like not playing live shows anymore.
I don't
You know,
think
like Kyle
so.
Gass is getting old.
I don't know if they're ever gonna play. I mean, they put out that one random cover single of a Beatles song,
Yeah,
and then I don't know what the point of that was.
I think they just have. I think they both have. You know, I think they have recording studios, so they're able to do stuff like that. But yeah, but does that make sense though? Like, I really hope that.
Yeah, I've always wanted to see them, but I don't think they really toured with Rise of the Phoenix. So
no, I don't think they did either. And that's what worries me. You know, like thinking about it now, I'm just like, because there hasn't been live music, it's made me think of all these people that I've wanted to see. Spoon's another example. I've never seen Spoon, but I've always wanted to.
let's see Spoon and Rooney.
I'm just worried that I won't Spoon and Rooney.
That'd
be a long night. But no, but like I really hope that like, you know, some of these groups do start getting, you know, out
back
there
on the
more,
road.
not to put them at any sort of peril, but you know, for consuming, I just like there's so many that I would just love to see. Is there like any group for you, David?
That's tough, man. I don't know. I mean, there's still a couple. Like, I've still never seen Bright Eyes, which that's like obviously probably the top of the list. He was supposed to play here this year actually, but they got canceled because of COVID, obviously.
Bus.
Where was he gonna play at? The Fox Theater or something? Or
I'm pretty sure it was at
Knitting Factory.
Yeah, Knitting Factory. I don't know.
Again.
Yeah,
It's a good question.
I know it is kind of tough, like when you start racking your brain about that kind of. What about you, Gill?
I really honestly, I really haven't listened to much music lately. Like, you know, I used to be obsessed with it, but I need to get back into it more.
Yeah, I mean, I find that I listen to music in like the best time of that I have for music is when I open the cafe I work at.
Yeah,
so
that
it's
makes
like
sense.
From like 6:30 to about 7:30 when the other person that I work with gets there. I'm able to just like I just plug in some music and I just kind of like do my thing.
Make them listen to your shit.
And and it's nice because, you know, it's like the only time of day really that I do have that I can just like sit and just tune things out or you know, just, you know, put it on to like enjoy it. Other than that, you know, music has become very background stuff for me a lot of times. It's you know, it's something that's playing or it's something that is put on because there's people around or, you know, there's something happening background music, you know? But yeah, I'm with you though, David. It's like that's why I've been trying to like intentionally sort of like get myself back into
finding
a good idea.
Things, you know. But yeah, I don't know. What about you though, Dusty? What do you have like a group that you're hoping doesn't disappear, that kind of rises from the ashes?
It'd be nice to see Tenacious D. I mean, I don't think I probably will ever play really again, unless it's like some sort of random small show in LA or something like that.
Yeah, I agree. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I've always wanted to see Manchester, but now they're starting to tour again. So
fair enough, dude. Dave, do you like Manchester Orchestra?
Never really got into them. I should check it out and see what I think. Yeah.
Yeah, you should. You should give it some listen. But But yeah, I'd definitely go see him. I've seen Manchester twice, shockingly, actually.
You see him with Brand New?
Yeah, once was on the Brand New tour, which was fucking killer. That was in Portland.
They're incredible live, yeah.
We drove from Wenatchee. It was like we were in Wenatchee. We drove from Wenatchee. We left so late, and we thought we could get back that we're all so tired that we just had to pull over on the side of the highway and sleep for a while. And then some guy came up to the window because we had our lights on. It was like knocking on the window and woke everybody up.
Make sure you're dead.
Like, are you guys okay? Yeah, we were just we rolled down the window quickly and was like, yes, and then we just drove off. Because we were just spooked. We were just like, what the fuck just happened?
Right.
But yeah, that was cool. And then I saw him with Biffy Clyro at the Showbox. And that was a cool show too. Actually, yeah. I had some interaction with the Biffy Clyro people. Cool. Have you guys ever listened to them? They're kind of like I'd say
no.
Sort of rock, but they also have like a tinge of emo. I'd say. I think they're from Scotland. So
yeah, because I know Manchester would tour with I know the best was like the Front Bottoms, which I kind of got into them more after listening to Manchester, but there's definitely more of like emo-y rock.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I just saw that Wilco, of all things, Wilco is doing a tour. I haven't listened to Wilco and a new Wilco album in a while, but I definitely had some of their like songs on rotation for a bit. But they were like randomly playing a show here at Olympia, and the tickets for this local Olympia show are like over $100. And I was like,
fuck that. Yeah.
I was like, if I'm gonna ever spend $100 to go see somebody, it's not gonna be fucking Wilco at like the Performing Arts Center in Olympia here.
They're gonna get those hipsters to shell out money to see Wilco though.
Yeah, well, it's just, I mean, like the theater that it's at is like such a kind of, I mean, it's like, it's a performing arts center like for a town. It's like kind of stuffy in there. It's not really like meant to be like a live music venue,
Yeah, kind of like Wenatchee's little pack.
Yeah, it's like it can work if you want it to, but it's definitely not like, not really built for that. Yeah, I don't know. That's strange.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I gotta get going to get some dinner here. But it's been fun.
Yeah, dude, I really appreciate this. Like, I hope you guys know that I do want to do another more of these in the future. I'd love the energy between the three of us. So I would love. I
feel like we could talk forever. So yeah,
we definitely can.
Yeah,
but you're right. We have almost talked forever. It's like almost about $1.50 here. So. We'll call it. I really appreciate it and love both of you guys.
Sure.
I hope you guys
you too
have a good evening and all that. This has been just like another wonderful occasion for myself. So I really appreciate these.
Another town hall
with the boys.
Love you guys too. It was fun.
Yeah, man. Sure. All right. Well, hey, you get some good dinner. You get some nutrition in you, Gill. I don't know what you're doing next, but get some nutrition too. It's always good for you.
I will.
All right. Well, hey, have a good evening, fellas.
Talk to you soon.
All right. Peace and chicken grease.
Yes.